adjust the bra strap, fluff the hair. Hi there. Morning. It's Audrey, Stitchy Witch 42. I think I'm leaving that in just because I'm nuts. How are you doing this morning? It is Tuesday, the 6th of March. Spring is just a couple of weeks away and I am so ready for warmer weather. We've had a mild weather here in Oregon. February is our cold month. And with the cold, I get the sinus headaches, and yesterday was miserable, but we move forward. So I have things to show. Let's get started. Last Thursday was our meetup, the Pacific Northwest Stitchers meetup at Acorns and Threads, and as usual, it was fun. It was just so much fun. There were, I think, about 10 of us there. We kind of roped in a stray customer for a little while, which was fun. And I hope that everybody's had a chance to see Joe's video that she put out of our meetup. You know, she gets that camera out and we start giggling like little girls. But it was fun. And then she went on to finish it after both the Michelles and I left. And that girl has got a wicked sense of humor and I just love it. But anyway, when I got up there, and I packed the whole house along. You can ask Michelle. We had to move things out into her car and she helped carry because I was still in the Franken boot. But we got up there and one of the ladies that was there was Lisa that works at the shop, and she said I had a package, and I briefly showed this on Joe's video. This was the piece that we stitched for our acorn gathering. It is the one and only Lizzie Kate that I have ever stitched. It was designed especially for Acorns and Threads, and when they talked about it at the Acorn Gathering, they said that it might be released. Well, we all know that Lizzie Kate is retiring, so who knows if this will be released before the end of March. I've not, like I said, this is my one and only Lizzie Kate that I've ever stitched. My sister gave me a pattern for Christmas. I will eventually get around to it. I'm not going to join in the madness of everyone else and be like Joe and go, all my Lizzie Kates. I'm just not. I think they're cute. I think they're wonderful. It's so not my style. I don't know where I'm going to put this up in my house, but I will find a place for it because Joylyn did an awesome job of finishing this. I mean, just beautiful. The corners, the backs. I mean, I can sew. I can't do this. Maybe I could if I tried. I don't want to. There's other people that do it. So, that's just me. But I got that. And then while we were there, Lisa, who works at the shop, she helped me get my fabric for my Christmas piece on my scroll frame. I found this scroll frame, and it's big. I found this scroll frame at a thrift store, and I spent $3 on it. And it's the kind that has the fabric that you have to sew your material onto. This is only the second scroll frame I've ever owned. My Edmonds is it, and now I've got this one. And she was really fantastic. She helped me measure my huge piece of material, realized that I would only need half of it for my Christmas pattern, and she showed me how to sew it on to the scroll frame, and then helped me to find the center of it so that when I get started I can center my piece on this and go forward from there. So I have to make a working copy because the pattern is in the book and it's a colored pattern and not really what I like to work with. But I'll have Mark make a grayscale pattern for me, and then I have to put the threads together. And Mark used to make handmade knives, and he made a couple of really nice oak display cases, and one of them had these really fancy legs that he might still have out in his shop. So he will be trying to, if he can find them, he's going to try to adapt them so that I can put this on a stand and have something, you know, to work with. Because I don't know, how do you stitch on something this big if you don't have it in a stand? Advice. Give me advice, please, because I've never worked on freestanding scroll frame. Yeah. Yeah. When Lisa was helping me with this, she went over and brought over this beautiful piece of fabric, which you have to go back to Joe's video to see it. Opalescent like mine, but it was blues and purples with some whites in there, and it looked like the Aurora Borealis. And she tried to tempt me with it. She did tempt me with it. But I asked the ladies that were there, and I said, okay, if I'm doing Santa and his sleigh going past a full moon, I like this blue because it's the starry sky, but the Aurora Borealis because he's coming for the North Pole. Which piece do I use? And pretty much the consensus was stick with the blue. I'm really, really happy that I stuck with the blue because I didn't need to spend any more cash. I did find out though that after the video, that fabric has been sold. So if you were wanting it, somebody already got it. So the way we're sitting around the table, like I said, I had taken a bunch of stuff. I had taken my Edmonds frame so that I could work on my Alphonse Mucha, and I was working on this huge thing. So I basically took over one whole end of the table that everybody was sitting around. And I don't know if it comes across in the videos or not, but I really am very introverted. If I'm in a comfort zone, I can talk to people, but I have a tendency to be more quiet than talkative in social gatherings. And the meetup was a perfect example of it, because not only had I taken up my whole end of the table and I was doing my own thing and everything, I was just listening to the people around the table. And I have to tell you a funny, but I need a drink. So the way we're sitting at the table, I've got the end. There was Lisa Smith, and then there was Joe, and there was Darlene, and then there was Lori. There was Lisa from the store. There was Michelle, Romantic Tangles, Michelle Bendy Stitchy, and her mom, Linda, otherwise known as Tutu, and me. And I'm kind of listening to everybody talk, different conversations going around the table, and working on my stuff. And all of a sudden, I heard Michelle Bendy Stitchy telling her mom, who's working on her first piece of cross stitch ever, that you can stab the fabric over and over again when you can't stab people. I started laughing, and everyone just looked at me because I lost it. I just started laughing. And then I tried to explain why I was laughing, and it's like, you know, when you're in that social group and you're listening to all these random bits and pieces of conversation, and that stray one just kind of reaches in and says, you gotta hear this. That's what happened. So cross stitch. You can stab the fabric when you can't stab the people. Oh, I got a couple of things while I was up there before I go on to Saturday. So I had ordered 2 Mill Hill button and beads kits. I got Halloween Night and Moonlit Kittens. I've got one other of these, and I'm not exactly sure what I'm going to do with them. Stash, okay? And then I got 2 patterns. They're both ink circles, and these were just spur-of-the-moment purchases. This is Another Year Creeps By, and I just think that is really, really cute. I might actually try to make that Biscornu thing out of one of these. We'll see. And the other ink circles I got was this one. It's called Elegant Squids. Do you see the squids in the corner? I love it. I love it. Yeah. And then I was gifted something while I was up there, and wow, I was really, really touched by this. Michelle, Romantic Tangles. She lives in Sweet Home, which is not too far away from Silverton. I talked about her the first time she showed up at one of our meetups, that she was the one who was knitting and just sitting there knitting and not watching what she was doing. Her hands were just doing their own magic, and she's talking and sharing and everything. She gave me a pair of socks that she knitted. Wow. Wow. I mean, these are beautiful. Look at the colors in this. Oh my gosh. They're just beautiful. Look at how skinny they are. I have fat little leggies. I don't know if these are going to stretch enough to go around my fat little leggies. I haven't tried it yet because I had to show them first. Oh, yeah. Warm socks. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you so much. So, I had showed this piece last week, my Wicked Witch, and I said that I wanted to have it finished the way that Kathy Haberman's was finished. So I contacted the lady, the finisher, and I sent her a message through Facebook, and I said, I just finished mine. Would you be willing to finish it the way that you did Kathy Haberman's? And she sent me back a very nice reply and said no. It was a one-off thing, but she was very, very nice about it. And I replied back to that and I said, would it be okay if I copied you? And she said she had absolutely no problem with that, and that if she had inspired me to finish something, she was very happy with that. So now I have to sit down with graph paper and the picture of that finish and have Mark's help to get the math right, because we know that when I try to do the finishing, I always manage to screw up on the math somehow, and this piece is too important to screw up on the math. So something that I'm going to do later on today is to sit down and start drawing out what I want, and then when Mark gets home from work, maybe he can help me figure out the actual math, and then I can go to Joann's on Thursday. Saturday I went back to Acorns and Threads. I dropped off Halloween and Quilt on Thursday, and Jolynn wasn't there. She was going to be there Saturday, so I went in and I have talked with her and told her about what I wanted to have done with it, and it is in her hands. And she said that I should have it by the April meetup, which is April 5th, the first Thursday of the month. And she and Lisa were there, and the other lady that works in the shop, and I can't remember your name. I have talked with you so many times and you are always so wonderful, and I just cannot remember your name. But anyway, they told me that after Joe's video, they sold the Aurora Borealis type fabric. It was all gone. And that box of Lizzie Kate's that they showed at the end of the video, they have been receiving calls from as far away as Maryland for Lizzie Kate's. Y'all are crazy. I mean, I understand she's retiring and they might not be printed again, but I guess I've just never gone at things that way where I have to have it because it might disappear. Because to me, it's usually that was the way it was meant to be. I don't know. Y'all are crazy. I didn't buy any of them, so, you know, have my share. But it's all good. So, I have to check my notes here because I wrote lots of notes. Bewitched Stitches. I think I finally got the name right of the group on Facebook that was started by Maui Jen, Darkside Stitcher, and Amy from Amy DeVille. They're doing the Edgar Allan Poe Stitch-Along, McCobb Stitch-Along. And first of all, Amy, thank you very much for the shout out you gave me on Instagram. So sweet. Thank you so much. But the piece that I chose to do for my McCobb Stitch-Along was really a small piece, and I got it done in like 5 days. I finished it last night, and there it is. Quote the Raven, nevermore. I bought this pattern online from New York Needleworks. And I have an idea. I was watching one of the videos, one of the designers, Summer House, getting ready to go to Nashville, and she had a cage with a cross-stitch piece in it, and I thought, that's an idea. So I'm going to try to turn this into a drum and put it in a bird cage. Again, more math. I need my husband. Needing him is good. He gives me permission to stitch. And he loves me. And okay, I love him too, you know. It works. But when I got done with that, I went back upstairs and I pulled out my Witch's Gate. And I unpicked my kitty because I made a mistake right after I did the kitty's head. And I went one stitch in too far, and I gave him a really skinny neck, and then he was one row too short. So this had been upstairs for a month or more, possibly 2 months, I don't know. I was mad at it. But I got it out last night. I got everything unpicked. Yeah. So I'm going to get started on this and get it finished and out of the way. And then the only other thing that I have that I'm working on is my Alphonse Mucha. I don't want to get started on my Christmas piece yet because I know when I get started on my Christmas piece, I'm going to ignore my Alphonse Mucha again. When I did my first one for my daughter, Morning Star, that one took me 13 months, start to finish. When I did Evening Reverie for myself, that one took 11 months. I have been working on the moon for 10 months, and I'm just at the halfway point. And I realize that it's because I am no longer monogamous. And I'm afraid that if I get started on my Christmas piece, that I'm going to get even further behind on her. And I do want to get it finished. I blame all of you. I used to be a monogamous stitcher, and granted, now I only work on 2 or 3 patterns at a time, but I used to be monogamous and I was fine with that. It was good. I could live with it. And then flosstube came along, and you have to stitch all the things. And I'm just throwing this out here and hoping that I don't get in trouble for it. But how many people, how many of you mention Michelle Bendy Stitchy in your videos? Because I've noticed almost all of you do. And I think it's funny. And I've been texting her every time I see somebody do that. And we love her. And we should love her. She is a very, very sweet young lady. And she does a very, very hard job being a nurse, working with hospice, and yeah. And she stitches all the things, and she's nice, and she's funny, and I am very fortunate to count her as a friend. So on that note, I have something that I want to say to everybody who is considering doing a flosstube video. I've said this before. There have been other people who have said it. If you're thinking of doing a flosstube video, please do. The first time you do it, you're going to be nervous, but you're in your home and you're talking about your projects. And what you're doing is you're sharing yourself. You're putting yourself out into the cross-stitching community and sharing your story. And what you're going to get from that is absolutely amazing. I said earlier that I am a very introverted person. I am. I really, really am. I don't sound like it on the video, but I'm in my own home. I've mentioned that if Mark is in the house, he has to be out in the shop because I can't do this in front of him. I can't. At work, I can talk to people, I can talk to strangers, but I'm in a grocery store and it's my job and it's my comfort zone. Like I said, at Acorns and Threads, I'm in a social group with people that I have met before. Every single person that was there, I've met before. But still, in those social gatherings, I'm the one that tends to get very quiet and listen rather than speak. Doing flosstube videos was a huge step for me. Way out of my comfort zone. I've done, I think this is my 30th video, I think, somewhere in that range. But I still get nervous doing it. Yet the rewards I've gotten from doing it, I've met some fabulous people in real life. I've met Michelle Bendy Stitchy. I've met Michelle Romantic Tangles. I've met Lisa, Kindred Stitcher. I've met Joe, Pretty Southern. I've met Darlene. She doesn't do videos. We're working on it. I have made friends because of the videos from Jay, Mortuary Stitches, Donna Ray, Flannel Jammy Farms, Abby, Top Knot Stitcher. Getting to know people on a personal note, aside from just doing the videos, has just been an amazing reward for doing these videos. So if you are thinking about doing a video, do it. Help this community grow. And the rewards that you're going to get back in friendship and companionship, do it. It is so, so worth it. You know, I've sent gifts off to other people. I've received gifts from people. That's not why I started doing flosstube. I started doing flosstube because I wanted to be part of this community. And wow. It is that reward that makes it worth it. I mentioned Donna Ray earlier. I was watching her video this morning, and I'm going to steal from her too. She said that she got a magical arrival. I thought that was just a cute way of saying that she got some mail. And I'm really, really happy that you liked the Harry Potter postcard that I sent to you. If you noticed on the postcard, the front of it is the Ministry Six. Harry, Ron, Hermione, Luna, Ginny, and Neville. And the stamp that's on the back, I gave you one of my stamps that I've been hoarding. I have one sheet of Harry Potter stamps, and they only go out on special mail. I put Draco on the back because he was the antagonist. So, yeah, you kind of had the good guys on the front and the bad guy on the back. There you go. But I had said that I got my Harry Potter stationery because I was going to be pen pals with Abby, Top Knot Stitcher, and I received a postcard from her this week from San Francisco with a very nice note on the back of it. And then a couple of days later, I got a Halloween postcard from Jay. And this one, oh my goodness. When she sent me the project envelope that she made for me months ago, she'd put all these Halloween bits of glitter in it. She taped one to the back, named it Bob. She said that Bob had to come see me. And then the other thing that she did is she taped these two little witches to the back of it. And next to it she wrote, with an arrow pointing to it, Jay and Audrey go shopping. Magical arrivals. You know, the friendships that have started because of flosstube, the people that I have met and that I'm getting to know, have been very, very rewarding, and I am so thankful to become part of this community and to be blessed to get to know these people, because without flosstube I never would have. So on that note, I'm going to leave you all today. I hope that you stitch the things, do the things. I hope that you are healthy, and I hope we all get warmer soon, because I'm pretty much done with winter. Live long and stitch on, my friends. So long.